Dear students, welcome back to SST class. In this video, we are going to discuss about the Zilla Parishad, that is the highest tier or highest level of the Panchayat Raj institutions. So, as I have written here, that highest body of in PRI means Panchayati Raj institutions. So, according to the Balwant Rai Mehta Committee report, we have discussed that there were three tiers in the Panchayati Raj institution. He have recommended for the three-tier system at village level, at intermediate level, at the block or mandal level, that is, and the third one is the highest level, that is Zilla Parishad. So following that, in 1993, the act that was passed was also containing the three-tier system in the Panchayati Raj institutions. So the third tier is the Zilla Parishad, and the highest one, that is Zilla Parishad. So, what is the activity? What is the power and activity of this Zilla Parishad? So, main activity of Zilla Parishad is that it coordinates and supervises the activities and the working of the Panchayat Samitis. Now, in the last video, we had discussed that Panchayat Samitis were acting. Their main function was to control and supervise the activities of the Gram Panchayats of that particular locality. Zilla Parishad is having the function to supervise and coordinate the activity and functioning of the Panchayat Samitis. So automatically it would be more powerful. Now when we talk about the composition, under Zilla Parishad we are having Pradhans of Panchayat Samiti. So the main members in this Panchayat in the Zilla Parishad are the Pradhans of Panchayat Samiti. Other than Pradhans of the Panchayat Samitis, we are also having MPs and MLAs. We are having MPs and MLAs of that particular district. Now there could be more than one MLA in that particular district and more than one MP as well. So I have written MPs and MLAs, means Member of Parliament and Member of Legislative Assembly in that particular district would automatically be the members of the Zilla Parishad. 1/3 seats, as we have already discussed in the Decentralization Act of 1993, that 1/3 seats should be reserved for the women in each and every tier or each and every level. So 1/3 seats are reserved for the women, and some seats, depending upon the population of SCs and STs in that particular district, some seats are reserved for the SCs and ST people also, so that their rights and their voices could be also addressed in the developmental activity of the Zilla Parishad. So now moving ahead, next topic that we are going to discuss about is the work and power and functions of the Zilla Parishad. So students, when we talk about the functions of the Zilla Parishad, the functions of the Zilla Parishad consists of these four broad categories. When we talk about the civic facilities, as we have already discussed, the Gram Panchayat used to give the basic facilities like water, electricity, the roads, street lights, right? All these schools and education and healthcare facilities are given by the Gram Panchayats. These Gram Panchayats are further given all these facilities by the Panchayat Samitis, and the Panchayat Samiti get all these facilities from the Zilla Parishad. Now, Zilla Parishad is a main head branch from where all these facilities are served. Means making up of the school and their maintenance, healthcare centers, and street lights, building roads, transportation, and when we talk about the water facilities, all is done in the treated under the civic facilities, which are done by the Zilla Parishad. Moreover, providing houses to the poor also is done by the Zilla Parishad. Moving ahead, second function that we have mentioned here is coordinate and supervise. So as we have already discussed, that Zilla Parishad is a coordinating body of the Panchayat Samitis. So different Panchayat Samitis of different blocks are here, and Zilla Parishad used to coordinate the work of each and every Panchayat Samiti, so that in uniform laws and processes and policies could be regulated throughout the district. And moreover, it also supervises the functioning of the Zilla Panchayat Samitis and Gram Panchayats. That is, whether the Panchayat Samitis and Gram Panchayats are working according to the law, are the funds that are provided to the Panchayat Samitis and Gram Panchayats are used in the appropriate manner in the field that they were given for, or not. So it also supervises the activities of the Panchayat Samitis. Moving ahead, advisory and financial functions. When we talk about advisory, Zilla Parishad is as being the highest level of the Panchayati Raj institutions, acts as advisory board here. It advises the central or state government that what policies or what are the demands of the people of that particular district, where the investment should be done, which field should be raised up, and what are the demands, aspirations, problems or conflicts among the people that are to be addressed, advised by the Zilla Parishad to the central and state government. Moving ahead, when we talk about finances. So, as we have discussed that state government provides the finances, funds to the panchayats. State government also provide funds to the panchayat meetings. Now, in the same way, now who is state government providing the funds? In actual, the state government is providing the funds to the Zilla Parishad. Zilla Parishad then regulates those funds further. So, it takes the whole account of the total funds that it is receiving, whatever the panchayat samitis are receiving and whatever the gram panchayats are receiving. Where are those funds regulated? Where are those funds, those money used? What is the development activity that is done by those funds? That is also under its consideration. So all the record of the funds, monitoring of the funds is done by the Zilla Parishad in the Panchayat Raj institutions. Moving ahead, development functions. So when we talk about the development functions, Zilla Parishad is having the control of building up the roads in the rural areas, linking up the irrigation canals so that the people, the farmers, those whose farms are not getting the water for irrigation, they could get the irrigation facilities, street lights, and moreover, we can call it education sector, health sector. All the sectors are coming under the Zilla Parishad for the development. So Zilla Parishad also plays an active role for the development. Next is when we talk about industries. So Zilla Parishad also regulates the small scale industries in the rural areas so that the people could get enough employment in that particular locality. So this was all about our functions of the Zilla Parishad. Now we are going to discuss about the sources of income of the Zilla Parishad. So students, as we have discussed that Zilla Parishad has to perform lot of duties and lot of functions and have to monitor from the district to the village level. So it requires a lot of money in its hand, because for doing for making the people welfare and to do the development of the particular district, they require huge amount of money. Now where does that money comes from? First of all, Zilla Parishad, according to the 11th schedule of Indian Constitution, Zilla Parishad is having the power to collect the taxes, license fees and market fees from the people. They could even collect the taxes upon the land as well. Moving ahead, so this becomes a one source of income, that is taxes and basic fees that the Zilla Parishad collects from the people. Grants from the state and central government. As we have discussed in the village level and at the Panchayat Samiti level along with the district level, there are several programs running here in our country that are sponsored by the state and central governments. So which program is run by which government? The particular government used to provide huge amount of funds to the Zilla Parishad for monitoring and for executing that particular scheme. For example, integrated development programs of the central government. In that particular program, for the implementation of particular program, central government is providing the funds to the state Zilla Parishad. In several schemes that are sponsored by the state government, the state government is having the duty to provide the funds to the Zilla Parishad. So automatically, this grants from the state and central government or funds from the state and central government becomes the second source of income for the Zilla Parishad. Next is property of Zilla Parishad. When we talk about property of Zilla Parishad, now Zilla Parishad is having a property. The Zilla Parishad might be having the land or shops or any particular plots or agriculture field as well. So whatsoever the income that is coming to the Zilla Parishad from that property would be also the source of income to the Zilla Parishad. Next is share of Zilla Parishad in the taxes collected by the state government. As we have already discussed that the taxes are collected by the state government, and in those taxes that state governments collect, there is a particular share of Gram Panchayat, there is a share of Panchayat Samiti, and there is a huge share for the Zilla Parishad as well. So Zilla Parishad also gets its income from the sources from the share of state government's taxes. So from here we could conclude that Zilla Parishad for doing their developmental activities are having enough money from different sources. Now with this, I am ending this video and we have completed our total topic of Zilla Parishad in this video. Thank you. Have a nice day.